Hello everyone, WX Ninja here with the daily weather update and some information on this California wildfire situation. If you want to get the latest information, just subscribe, click the bell icon, and you'll be notified as soon as I make a video. Now, right now, they're experiencing some big-time Santa Ana winds down there in California. This is Simi Valley. This is Evacuation Map. A fire started this morning, early this morning, and it's already at 1,000 acres. So that just tells you how conditions are so favorable for fires right now. This whole area is in a red flag warning, but the fire started, and these winds, I mean, they're pushing 60, 70 miles an hour in spots. They have just spread this fire, and it's really just blown up down there. So this map, I'm going to have it in the description down below. This is the Simi Valley evacuation map. Here's some mandatory evacuations and then some voluntary evacuations. I'm guessing this is a ridge area, so they're thinking the fire is going to come over. That's why these are voluntary and that one is mandatory. Must connect up here. They're thinking the fire is going to be driven this way pretty much is what that tells me. So a lot of schools closed in this area. Right now they're using this reservoir, this barred reservoir. They're using it to do water drops. They're also using, I believe it's this right here. I believe that's the reservoir there, or I think that's water they're using off the golf course as well. Or maybe it's this one. But right now I'm watching ABC 7 down there in California. They got a live stream going on, so if you want to find out and see some pictures, I obviously can't show their live stream on here, but go there and check it out. Right now they're showing a fire is slowly moving down a hill towards a subdivision. The good news is the wind is blowing the opposite way. Like, let's just say the fire is moving south, but the wind's blowing everything north. So the fire it's going to go slowly south towards the subdivision, but it should stay away from the subdivision because the wind is going to push it away. If the wind was blowing the other way, the subdivision would probably already be on fire. I don't know exactly where that is. In this grand scheme of things, they're showing a helicopter right now dropping the water. And let me tell you, if it wasn't for these helicopters and these fixed wing aircraft coming in, dropping the fire retardant and dropping the water. I was watching it yesterday, or watching a video yesterday, where if they hadn't done that and boxed the fire in, so to speak, that fire would have just exploded. And so, these aircraft are really, really important for that. So let's go back to LA now. Here's the evacuation map we've shown several times. The warning there, and then the mandatory evac area, and then the get ready, already be ready, because if they say the word, you're going to evacuate. Now, today is a really volatile situation. These Santa Ana winds are going to be lasting all day long. I don't think they're supposed to end until tomorrow. So when you get conditions like this, a fire can just erupt so quickly, and you can be stuck at your house. There's a lot of hilly terrain here. There's a lot of skinny roads, a lot of houses up on peaks. Really dangerous to begin with. So if you live in this area, really, have your car loaded type deal and ready to go, because you just don't know what's going to happen. It's a horrible, horrible situation down there. They're not getting a great handle on the fires. Yesterday they got a break in the weather, so they were able to get a better handle on them, but still today, with now conditions worsening and this wind going crazy, it's just, fires are just blowing up. You have these hot spots, and the wind just blows on them and blows on them and blows on them, like you would do if you're trying to start a campfire, and that's what just makes it explode. I'm watching another water drop here. They're right at the edge of the road by the subdivision. And the helicopter just dropped more water, and fire goes out, dies down a little bit. I don't want to say it goes out, but dies down a little bit. Helps stop the advance. Now, there is firefighters on the ground that are watching this so that they can do their part from the ground too. But I got to tell you, if you live in this area, you got to thank your firefighters because they are saving so many homes from going up in flames. So let's move on to the forecast. We're going to start with the snow. People always like the snow. You see through the heart of the country, we've got 1 to 3 inches moving through right now. A little bit of a snowstorm sets up here around Chicago. Excuse me, had to take some water there. Up to 6 inches in parts, 2 to 4 inches along the northern states there. So be a snowy day there on Friday. Then it kind of quiets down, just some remaining snow showers for your Saturday. Let's get on into Sunday. You can see not much going on snow-wise throughout the country. Pretty quiet, maybe a few snow showers here or there. Montana looks like another 2 to probably 6 inches, depending on the terrain. A little bit across the Dakotas for your Monday. And then you see that snow system just advance. Probably 1 to 3 inches in these parts of the country. So we go on through the forecast here. See upper parts of Montana there, a little bit of snow. Some big snows up in Canada. Well, I shouldn't say big, but 2 to 4 inches. And then Montana, you're going to get into a little storm here. It looks like some higher, these are probably in the mountains, some higher totals. So 2 to 4 inches overall, pretty much of Montana there for your Thursday, November 7th. As we go forward in time, you see a little system dropping down. Looks like front's dropping down from the north here, setting up some snow, probably 3 to 6 inches in parts. Again, this is way out in time, Friday, November 8th, so over a week. So take this with a grain of salt. Just looking at it to get a general pattern. This shows, once again, a heavy snowstorm in the New England states. It's actually a little bit further south than it was yesterday now. That's 9 inches right there, so we'll see what happens. Cascades over here and into Idaho, Montana. Some snow. This would be a big time story if this happened. Early snowstorm in November. Oops, I didn't press the right button, sorry. And then you see this system just kind of hanging out here. And a little bit of snow sweeping throughout the country. This is way out in time, Tuesday, November 12th. Looks like it's wanting to drop a dip in the jet stream here and get a little snowstorm going. Then it kind of moves off to the east again. And then some, looks like a front's going to drop down and get some good mountain snow over here. All right. Now, let's get on to the forecast here. Now, last time when we looked at this, this is the GFS. This is just highs and lows, rain and snow. So you see the rain, you see the snow. Last time when we looked at this, towards the end of the run, showed a big-time rainmaker coming into California. We'll have to see if that happens again. Hopefully it does happen because they need it. Sorry, I'm looking at the winds here. Looks like we're getting 30 to 50 mile an hour winds. They're showing a 27 in Santa Clara with some stronger winds around it. So, yeah, the winds are picking up there. And then you get on the higher hills and the winds, they just do what they want. They bounce off other hills and creates weird wind situation. Plus, one thing you got to remember too about wildfires, they create their own weather. They will create their own wind. So it's crazy. Another thing too is the humidity obviously is pretty low in there. But let's get back to the forecast. So this is for tomorrow. This is your Halloween forecast, beginning of the day. It's going to be a snowmaker on the backside of this low, but a lot of rain out front there for most of the eastern seaboard as it moves on throughout the day. If you're trick-or-treating, bring an umbrella and a raincoat because this is a big-time low that's moving off for Friday, 989. It's going to be pretty stormy up there. It's a strong low to move through. All right, then it goes quiet throughout the country like we saw. It's still cool, quiet. Sorry, I was just looking. They were showing something else. Snow in the Great Lakes region. And snow in the Great Lakes region. Big time low stays off the coast of the eastern seaboard there. Pretty quiet. Pretty quiet. High and low right there. Dipping down. A little bit of snow into Montana like we saw in the forecast there. Sweeps across the country. Develops into a low over the Great Lakes region. And then ejects off to the northeast. So The general pattern is down and back up here with the jet stream. A little bit of rain on the east coast down into Texas. Now we've seen the next system here kind of setting up. You can kind of see right here, a little Arctic boundary. And just kind of hangs out up there. Slowly dragged south. And then he goes through the central part of the country. Here's your tropical moisture. It's too bad it's not going to hit up into California there. So this low pressure center is hanging out, and watch it merge with this cold air to form a big time snowstorm is what they're talking about there. And a rainmaker. Moves off the east coast there. So now here we are. This is Saturday, November 9th. We see rain approaching California. We see some heavy showers down here in Texas, Louisiana. Big system moving off to the east coast. But I think all eyes are on California. So this is Sunday, November 10th. And you can see it's a soaker. We'll have to see if that remains. Sunday, November 10th. It was showing it a little later in the run yesterday. Then you see some active weather here. It gets kind of active overall. Now remember, the models this far out have trouble latching onto things and knowing exactly what's going to happen. So sometimes it throws some crazy things. So here's another little system coming into California, just northern California. But we'll take it. Gets active over the country. See the big low off the east coast there, and then one coming into the west coast here. We'll have to see just how this all plays out. The reason we look this far out is to get a general idea on patterns. You know, it's not a guarantee that something's going to happen, but when you start to see the same thing over and over again, kind of latch on to it. Now, this California rain has been showing up now a couple model runs in a row. Positioning is a little different. Timing is a little different. But overall, it's looking like around this time frame, maybe next weekend, we'll be getting in on some rain. I'm sorry, this is not next weekend. This is 2 weeks. California could see a little rain, a little less than 2 weeks. So we'll just see what happens here. I'll keep an eye on the models. Last thing I want to hit you guys with is the temperatures. Cool. This is departure from average, so there's cool. No big surprise there. It moves off to the east coast. Develops again in the central part of the country. Stays warm out west. Pushes off to the east coast a little bit. Pushes off to the east coast as it's losing its strength. The warm west coast. Same thing there. Then you get another reinforcing shot here coming down through Montana, Dakotas. You see it go to the middle part of the country as it's warmer than average on both sides. Then it blasts off to the east, still remaining warm in the west. Now the west kind of moves inland, and you see a little bit of a colder pool develop. A lot of cold air bottled up there, just to our north here. And that's where it ends. So again, this fire here, brand new fire. There's a pretty decent sized evacuation zone. This is an interactive map. Type in your address, show you where you're at, if you need to evacuate or not. It has power outages and different things on here. Yeah, just a real volatile situation down there. Keep them in your thoughts and prayers. And you know, again, if you want to get the latest information, just subscribe and hit the bell icon, and you will get the latest information as soon as I make a video. Okay, everyone, thanks for stopping by. Take care. We'll see you tomorrow.